Nike is one of the most powerful brands on the planet, a company worth over $180 billion, selling products worn by millions every day. But here's the part. Most people don't know. Nike doesn't even manufacture most of its own shoes. So how did a company that started with just $35 and a handshake deal become a global empire? In this episode of Hidden Empires, we're breaking down the strategy, the numbers, and the decisions that turn Nike into a brand that dominates the world. Back in 1964, Nike didn't exist. It was called Blue Ribbon Sports, a small operation run by Phil Knight and his former track coach Bill Bowerman. Knight had a simple idea: import high-quality running shoes from Japan and sell them in the US. He started with just $35, selling shoes out of the trunk of his car at track meets. There was no brand, no factories, no real infrastructure, and they were competing against established companies like Adidas, which already dominated the market. Early on, cash flow was a constant problem. At one point, Nike was on the verge of collapse, struggling to pay suppliers while trying to grow. The question was simple: how do you compete with giants when you have almost nothing? Nike's breakthrough didn't come from manufacturing, it came from strategy. First, they created their own brand. In 1971, Nike was born, along with the now iconic swoosh logo designed for just $35. Then came innovation. Bowerman experimented with a waffle iron to create a new type of sole, giving runners better traction. But the real turning point came from marketing. In 1984, Nike took a massive risk by signing a young rookie named Michael Jordan to a deal worth $2.5 million over 5 years. At the time, it was a huge gamble, but within the first year, Air Jordans generated over $100 million in sales. That single decision changed everything. Nike realized something powerful. They weren't just selling shoes, they were selling identity, culture, and aspiration. Fast forward to today, and Nike is a global powerhouse. Market value: over $180 billion. Annual revenue: over $50 billion. Products sold in 190-plus countries. But here's the real secret behind Nike's dominance. Nike doesn't own most of its factories. Instead, it outsources production to manufacturers around the world. This allows Nike to keep costs low scale, quickly focus on branding, design, and marketing. While other companies invest heavily in production, Nike invests in perception, sponsorships, endorsements, cultural influence. From athletes like LeBron James and Cristiano Ronaldo to collaborations with artists and designers, Nike has built a brand that goes far beyond sports. In fact, Nike spends billions annually on marketing, reinforcing its position as a global leader. And its direct-to-consumer strategy, selling online and through its own stores, has only increased profit margins and control over the brand. So what can we learn from Nike's rise? 1. You don't need to own everything to dominate. Nike outsourced production and focused on what mattered most. 2. Branding is everything. People don't just buy Nike for performance, they buy into what it represents. 3. Big risks can create massive rewards. The Michael Jordan deal could have failed, but instead, it built an empire. 4. Focus on your strengths. Nike doubled down on marketing, design, and storytelling, and let others handle manufacturing. Nike didn't win by being the biggest manufacturer. It won by becoming the most powerful brand. From selling shoes out of a car to building a $180 billion empire, Nike proves that sometimes the most powerful companies aren't the ones that make the product. They're the ones that control the story. This is Hidden Empires,